Yo, why is Saneter trying not to answer his phone right now? I've been texting him since 9:30 this morning. I've been texting. Let me text him again. Bro, pick up. Bro, pick up the phone. See, right now I'm texting him. He's not responding. Sai's over there not responding to these texts, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Why is Sai? Yo, look at that. Y'all see the wave? Y'all listen. Y'all see the waves? Y'all see the wave now? Listen. Y'all see the wave? It's crazy. But listen, right now, see, I had to free up. I had to free up some time to address Jabari, right? Because Sa let Jabari violate. No. Listen, Sa let Jabari violate, right? And all I ask, listen, I've been doing this for a long time. I have thick skin. I like the energy. You know, it's not a personal thing. It's not getting weird. And, it's all on board. It's politics time. We about to vote. Jabari been over there pushing a lot of lies and misinformation about Kamala and Trump. And in the middle of that, like everybody else, he gets passionate and he makes a left turn. So I'm like, yo, Sal, since Jabari talking so crazy, set it up. Jabari been running from me for years. And I be one like, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I swear, I keep saying I'm gonna do this, but I never do it. I'm gonna go get me a clip of Whack 100 because really Whack stole my shit. Yo, shout out to Whack, right? But Whack stole my shit. Whack with the I got the content. You see, that's Whack shit, right? But my shit been way longer than Whack. Yo, Saw, hit the share screen, right? That's my version of I got the content. I was saying that first. Saw, hit the share screen. Because when they talk crazy, they forget that you got the content. Like, I just don't, I guess because we live in a world where people have a 30-second attention span, they forget what they done said or whatever the case may be. And then it'd be crazy. Listen, they forget what they done said and then it get crazy, right? So what I'm going to show y'all today is going to expose Jabari. We getting ready to expose Jabari, and I'm trying to, bring Sa in the loop so he don't feel like it's no, weird attack or nothing. But he's not picking up his phone. This is Sa number.
What's up, man?
I've been calling you all morning. Why you ain't picking up?
Man, I don't sleep. I be up all night. You be sleeping at night.
That's true. Now that's definitely true.
Man.
That's true. Because I got to get up and take the babies to the school bus. Yo, I'm about to cook your man Jabari though.
Let's do it. What you gonna do?
Well, I'm about to cook him. He called me out, but then you ain't want to set it up. You was protecting him over there after he was saying I'm eating dogs and cats and all kind of crazy shit. I was like, okay, you
say what?
Nah, don't say. Sorry, you were sitting right there, right next to him, letting him say I eat dogs and cats, and my grandmother would be rolling over in her grave for supporting Trump and all that shit. And I was saying, since he talking so crazy, let's set up the debate. And he was like, no.
Say, you eat dogs? What are you talking about?
So I'm about to go through the videos right now. We about to look at it and see exactly what he said.
He said, you eat dogs and cats?
So we about to look at the video and find out exactly what he said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we about to cook Jabari real quick though, because he is.
Who's the we?
me and my audience. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Everybody that tunes in. Everybody that tunes in. We're about to expose
when you started?
We live now.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna check it out. Me too then.
All right.
But damn, man, I didn't know. Did he say you eat dogs? Again?
We about to find out right now. I could be mistaken. Who knows? I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think he said that, bro.
All right, we about to check it out though. So anyway, tune in.
All right, let me go check it.
All right. We got Sa tuned in. Yep, we just went one more person gained into the live stream. So that should be Sa right there. And I'm sure shortly he'll probably tag in Jabari. And then we can look at this clip. I think we should start with this clip, right? So we see what the deal is. Let's start with that.
There isn't a candidate in Harlem that doesn't know me that I can't call. Does that affect what happens in my neighborhood? Of course. What is this? I just did a panel with a brother darker than me that Biden gave 52 years in prison. Biden gave 52 years? How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison? Is Biden a judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, see, all this got to get cooked, Sa. See, all this right here, when he is allowed to sit up on the platform and say things like this, if it was somebody else that said that, right? Like if you had one of them brain dead dudes that be over there said that, he would get a pass. But when Jabari says that, see, that is him misleading and misinforming the people. See, that's where it becomes, that's where it gotta expose right there that Jabari is the one that secretly has an agenda, right? Because when I come up here, right, I'm pro-Trump, right? And you might be pro-Kamala or pro-Trump, I don't know, right? But I know that I don't get paid, and I've never been paid by any Democratic or any political party, right? So there's no agenda. My agenda is to see that, the improvements that I think one party or another can make. That's, like anybody else has the right. Okay, you vote Democrat. Okay, if you believe the Democrats can do the best job for the country, then you should be out saying, yo, let's vote Democrat, right? If you believe Republican, that's your agenda. So everybody technically has an agenda. The women that believe they voting for abortion rights, that's their agenda, right? The single black fathers that want to see the groceries, whatever, that's the agenda. But I think when we use the term agenda in a nefarious way, what we're talking about is an ulterior motive or a secret agenda or something that supersedes the benefits of the people for personal benefit, right? So the first thing we have to understand is Jabari has a liberal education. So we have to start there and check Jabari's education, right? Did Jabari get a liberal education in college? Because we've been on these platforms for a very long time talking about colleges indoctrinating people's brains, right? There's clips of 1,000 different people saying, when you go through the American food system and, you get indoctrinated trying to become a doctor. And, we've had these conversations, whether we all share these opinions or not. That's not the subject, but we've had these conversations. So we know that it is possible for you to go to school and then be brainwashed by what happens there. So we have to start there. Is there a Jabari agenda? right? Just saying. Jabari pretending like he doesn't know that the law influences how people are sentenced. Jabari pretending that he doesn't know that politicians passing law influences, determines sentencing guidelines. See, this is why I'm saying, and this is why I got to address that from over here. Because see, over there, I might be, oh, hold on, EnQi boy, let's get somebody in to say what they, no. He got to just, he got to just hear all this now. The people need to hear all this now before they run out there on Tuesday listening to Jabari and make the wrong decision. And I'm not saying don't vote Democrat. Well, I am saying don't vote Democrat. That is a certified fact. But I'm saying that based on, what I believe the parties have to offer. Right? Not on an ulterior motive because, I personally am getting, paid. And I know y'all might say, well, hold on, EnQi. Don't you show the advertisement for one of your brothers that's a Republican? So are you biased, EnQi? Do you have an agenda because one of your brothers is running to be a Republican? No, because I could also point out one of my brothers in Chicago that is a Democrat in office. And y'all know that I've been talking to y'all about Rob Scott. I even went to New York and the mayor and the city council came out and cut a ribbon for me. Those were Democrats. My brother Rob is a Democrat, right? So there's no, it's not that, right? I have friends that are Democrats that are holding public office. I have close friends that are trying to get into Republican public office, right? And everybody knows I vote my interest. That's what you're supposed to do when you're voting. You're supposed to vote your interests and you're supposed to promote your interests, right? The problem is if your interests, like this Diddy situation, Jabari has been promoting the Democrats longer than he's been promoting ancient Kemet. In fact, Jabari been promoting the Democrats since Puffy started promoting the Democrats. Jabari, was you a part of Puffy's vote movements for the Democrats? That's just a question. I'm just saying, Jabari, was you a part of the Puff Daddy run to vote, rock to vote, walk to vote, music to vote? Was you a part of those Democrat movements that Puff Daddy started in New York City? Yes or no? That's just a question right there for Jabari to answer. Hey, stop. Listen, right now it might seem funny, but when people start examining, they're going to know it's not. Because Jabari is an educated person, right? As an educated person, him getting up on the camera and pretending that he doesn't know how politicians and policy affects sentencing guidelines, that's crazy. Like, you don't think, listen, hold, Sa, you might not understand this politics stuff, Sa. You might not get it, right? Respectfully. But we just watched Young Thug get off yesterday. You don't think that the reason why they had to do that deal yesterday is to hurry up before the election? Because the DA and all of them got to go up for election on Tuesday. The politics very much influences sentencing. Why do you think they got off so favorable? They were supposed to get 3, 4, 5 life sentences for all that shit that they did. Or allegedly did. And how did that wind up? Almost everybody's at home right now. Why? Because they can't go into an election looking like they're trying to railroad young black boys. See, you over there playing with Jabari, side. Jabari is over there, he doing his own thing. You got to make sure you separate your own opinion from whatever Jabari got going on, because Jabari is taking a check. Jabari's getting paid over there to mislead people. Listen to this again. Let's listen to this again. Jabari pretended like he don't know that the law influences sentencing guidelines. Listen to this.
Judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means. Biden gave to the panel neighborhood? Of course. What is this? I just did a panel with a brother darker than me that Biden gave 52 years in prison. Biden gave 52 years? How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison? Is Biden a judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means. What do you mean Biden gave him 52 years? EnQi, how does that make sense? EnQi, by the way, Saneter, is EnQi, where is EnQi's family from?
Oh, the Bronx.
No, that's not what I'm asking you.
America.
Someone said to me, EnQi.
Hold on. Before Jabari goes personal, let me just take him over here to finish answering his question, because we're going to make sure we cook. We're going to make sure Jabari is well done. Listen, we want Jabari to be well done, so we don't even want to move on to subject. We're going to stay right here on Jabari's lie. And listen, let me tell you what he did. Jabari is actually a politician. Listen, Jabari is using doublespeak. He's using contextual leading to direct you in a certain way, but he's leaving the door open so that he could come back and backtrack his statements, you know, if need be. But we're going to make sure we close all them doors behind Jabari, make sure he can't backtrack none of these statements, because now we're going to have it on video and in alignment so we can see what's going on over there with Mr. Jabari saying, how did Biden, wait a minute, how did Biden give people time? Because last I checked, Biden wasn't a judge. Only judges give people time. Biden can't do that. Right? Jabari, politicians and laws, clearly, as far as Jabari is concerned, he wants the people to think. Don't influence people's jail sentences. Well, we're just going to take us a little stroll back through history so we can see what Jabari is promoting. This is what Jabari promoting. Let's go on over here and see what Jabari talking about. Here you go, Jabari. Let's go on over here and see what you're talking about. This what you promoting, Jabari?
On this bill. The underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down. Let me set the record straight on this bill. The underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. Let me set the record straight on this bill. The underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was.
Jabari, you sure you want me to let this video go? Jabari, you want me to let this video play? Jabari, do you want me to let this video play? Jabari, stop hiding. Saneter's here. No, Sa. You see, Jabari's goose is cooked. Just relax. And did you already text Jabari? That's what you should be concerned with right now, Sa. Did you already tell Jabari to tune in? Because right now, Jabari goose is cooked. We're going to let this video go.
The Biden bill. Let me set the record straight.
Hold on, Joe Biden. Whose bill is this exactly, Joe Biden? Because we want to make sure that we're not putting no smut on Biden's name, because it was two people that was on the bill, but Biden is making sure that he clarifies for everybody on the floor that the other person is taken off, and he's presenting this whole bill by himself. Let's get back to Biden, Jabari's man. Let's get back to Jabari's man.
On this bill, the underlying bill, which is now the Biden. Let me set the record straight on this bill. The underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States.
Hold on. Biden. Who wrote this bill? Just to be clear, because I don't want Jabari to say anything. Like, I just want to make sure. Who wrote this bill, Biden? I just to explain it, because I was a little confused, but now I'm getting unconfused. Now, who is the author of this 1993 crime bill? Jabari.
On this bill. The underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States of America, not with his Attorney General, not with anyone else, with Bill Clinton, President of the United States of America. Well, between the time he got elected in November until the time he was...
Okay, so let's make sure we got our notes. So Biden was working with Bill Clinton to put this thing here together. And Jabari has been working with Biden and the Clintons. Jabari works with the Clintons and Biden, and the Bidens and Clinton put this bill together. So let's keep on going. Wait a minute. EnQi, hold on. EnQi, you just can't just be saying all kind of crazy stuff now. Well, let's just go ahead and listen to it again.
Biden-Hatch bill was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States of America, not with his Attorney General, not with anyone else, with Bill Clinton, President of the United States of America. Well, between the time he got elected in November until the time he was sworn in, called me at my home on 6 separate occasions, and he unfortunately doesn't need a lot of sleep. Sometimes literally, and I say this on the record, as late as 11:30 at night, to discuss why I wasn't moving quicker on the Biden crime bill from before.
Okay, wait a minute, because I know y'all like, hold up, but prove that Jabari been working with these people. Okay, let's just do that real quick.
One of the things they don't recognize is, I know that when I come on here, I talk to you as a historian, but I had been involved in political action in the African-American community since before I was part of the Kemetic community, since the 1980s. African-American community, since before I was part of the Kemetic community. In the African-American community, since before I was part of the Kemetic community. Talk to you as a historian. Things they don't recognize is, I know that when I come on here, I talk to you as a historian, but I had been involved in political action in the African-American community since before I was part of the Kemetic community.
What? Jabari, you mean to tell me you've been getting paid from these Democrats long before you was a part of the Kemetic community? Hold on, Jabari. Did you just tell everybody exactly how a political plant works in the community? So you start out in politics, and then they put you in a grassroots movement that doesn't have anything to do with politics, so you can influence the people from the inside out and make it seem like you're actually one of the people? Jabari, I am appalled at you, Jabari. Now, Saneter, come back up here and what you said about this here? What you said? Sa, what did you say here? Where is my paperwork to prove what I say on Jabari? I don't need paperwork because I got better than paperwork. I got Jabari to tell us what Jabari been doing. See, this is what I'm saying about the 30-second memory. Jabari didn't realize what? Jabari, is the cat out of the bag, Jabari? Did you tell everybody that you already had these relationships working with these people since before you got into the Kemetic community? So again, Jabari, was you with Puff Daddy's initiatives with the Democrats? Because we cannot separate that. Puff Daddy has been promoting the Democrat program since the 90s, the same amount of time as you have. So I don't see how he could be politically active promoting the Democrats in New York, and you could be politically active promoting the Democrats in New York, and you not know that you're working with side by side with Puff. I'm just saying. point out the thing that I'm making up. Has Puff Daddy been promoting Democrats in New York for the last 25 years? Yeah, that's just yes or no question. Come on now. It's quiet on that side over there. It's quiet on that side over there. Let's listen to it again. What you said, Jabari? Now, how long you been working with them people, Jabari? Jabari, how long you been working with them people? That's all we want to know.
I talk to you as a historian, but I had been involved in political action in the African-American community since before I was part of the Kemetic community. Since the
Oh, wait a minute. So wait a minute. Hold up. So what you saying, Jabari, is that when you came to us as a historian, you was either leaving out the truth or telling us a blatant lie. Like you, because you see, as a parent, you teach your children like, hey, a lie is a lie, but also if I ask you something and you leave out the truth, that's also a lie. That's also being deceptive. So you mean to tell us that you've been in the Kemetic community for almost 30 years and you just telling us in 2024 that you was with them first? Jabari, I got the content. See, he should have never started talking about my grandmother rolling over in her grave and all that. I don't know what, sorry, I don't know why you got these guys acting like they don't know who, like, bro, I don't know what's happening over there. Let Jabari wrestle with this. Let Jabari wrestle with this.
the 1980s and have
Wait a minute, hold up. Now look, I'm wrong. When I'm wrong, I gotta admit I'm wrong. I just got correction. I said Jabari been with them people since the 90s. Excuse me. Jabari has been with those people for almost 50 years. He just said he been rocking with them since the 80s. Let's play that back again. So Jabari, you've been with them people damn near long as I've been alive. I'm 47. You telling me you've been working with the Democrats secretly? And yes, it is secretly because you haven't been. See, like me, look, everybody knows, right? Because they see this, right? So this is called not secretly, right? This is called not secretly. So when they see me wearing this and I talk my Trump shit, that's not secretly. And I've been doing this since the first go round. So that's not secretly. See, this is me letting the people know, yeah, we. So you're telling me for 50 years, almost twice as long as you've been out there promoting Kemet, that you've been secretly with them people? So all this time when we heard you promoting everything that they promote, and you've come into us like you just, just a concerned community member. You mean you actually was a paid pro? Are you on payroll over there? It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know why listen, I don't know how long this has to go on where people call me out and then regret it immediately. Like, I don't, it's better to be my friend. Why don't people just want to be my friend? Yeah. Come on, Jabari. This was the wrong thing for you to do here. See, this was the wrong thing for you to do here. Now that we have successfully established that Jabari has been secretly with those people for 50 years, now we could go back to how a man gets 52 years in prison from a politician that Jabari pretend like he don't. Oh, I didn't know that. Last time I checked, Biden has never been a judge. So how could Biden cause a man to get 52 years in prison? Now we're going to go back to that. Now let's go back to that part. Let's get to that part.
Bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States of America, not with his Attorney General, not with anyone else, with Bill Clinton, President of the United States of America, who between the time he got elected in November until the time he was sworn in, called me at my home on 6 separate occasions and he unfortunately doesn't need a lot of sleep. Sometimes literally, and I say this on the record, as late as 11:30 at night, to discuss why I wasn't moving quicker on the Biden crime bill from before. I sat with him, not with his attorney general. He wanted 100,000 policemen. He does not view this as a social issue as opposed to trying to bring peace and security to the streets. As governor of the state of Arkansas, he presided over as governor.
When Donald Trump was president, life was a lot better. I trust him on the economy and on keeping us safe. Freedom to choose is also important to me. But he's been clear. He does not support federal abortion ban. And that's why I'm with Trump.
The all-new GoDaddy era.
Hey, y'all notice I let that play? Oh, shit. That was good timing, YouTube, for the very first time ever.
Of individuals within the state and the death penalty. He supports the death penalty. He is the fellow who insisted that I bump this up from initially to when I said, where are we going to get the money? He said, well, all I know is I want 100,000 cops. I made that commitment. He had endorsed the Biden crime bill as a candidate when he ran. He is the one who talks about the need for stiffer penalties. So notwithstanding the fact, some of the old Democrats and former presidents who were Democrats before Carter, I suspect, I don't know who we're talking about here, but in the old days, it is true. When Richard Nixon was running for president, Richard Nixon used to talk about law and order, and the Democratic response was law and order with justice, whatever either one of those meant. I never knew. I was running then in 1972. I didn't think Richard Nixon knew what it meant, and I didn't think the opposition knew what it meant. This president is very, very straightforward and simple. He knows there are two basic steps here. One step is you must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more.
Okay, now we're starting to get very specific. You must take back the streets. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we're clear, right? This bill was not about America at large. This crime bill was not to target the suburban, this bill was strictly to target the urban streets. So this is what Jabari, see, and this is what I want y'all to understand about politics. This is what these guys like to do, right? Especially the plants in your community, like Jabari. They will promote a candidate, right? Let's get Biden. Let's go Biden, right? And then when Biden comes in office and does certain things, right? Guess what they do? Like this 93 crime. But now the bill, listen. I want y'all to pay attention. This is a 1993 crime bill, right? Jabari has been working with these people from the 1980s. So now let's say, for instance, Jabari really was about the people in the community, right? Oh, Jabari, you got to get this work, my nigga. Let's say, for instance, Jabari really was with the people, and he thought in his heart that the Democrats was they was going to help the community, right? In 1993, after working with them for almost 10 or 15 years, when they put out this bill to target the streets and to target the Black community, at that moment, Jabari was supposed to say, oh my God, my eyes are open. These guys really are the guys from pro-slavery. Remember, the Democrats was the ones in the war fighting to keep you as a slave. Never forget that. The Republicans is the North. That's the Union. That's Abraham Lincoln. The Democrats is the South. So when you hear about the lynchings, the hangings, and all that, the government and the rich people trying to stop you from voting, that was never the up north people, right? That was the South. In fact, all of the Black people were doing what? They were trying to escape the South and get to the North. Literally, we only know of Harriet Tubman because she was going down to the South, to the Democrat-run states and sneaking niggas out to the Republican-run states so that they could. So when this 93 crime bill comes out, What does Jabari do? Does Jabari stop supporting the Democrats? No. Jabari doubles down on the Democrats. What does that mean? That means that Jabari supports the 93 crime bill. Jabari supported mass incarceration of black men. Jabari supported the breakups of the black home. Jabari supported all these fatherless kids out here. Jabari supported that. After Biden did that, Jabari stuck with Biden to keep working with Biden all the way up to get Biden in the presidential office. That's who Jabari is. That's who Jabari is. Let's get back to this work. See, let me show you. Let me go back to this though, so we can see what Jabari. How did Jabari earn this attention from Dr. EnQi? Let's go find that moment. Let me let y'all see this, because see, I want y'all to understand that I don't wake up and pick on people. I don't wake up and pick on people. Let me show y'all this here moment here where Jabari decided to. This is what Jabari did. So this is how this goes. See, I want y'all to know I be in defense. Because when y'all see me like this, y'all might think I'm picking on Jabari. Because you know Jabari, he talks soft. And you know, he says the Egyptian Kemetic philosophy. And you know, peace king and all this other bullshit, right? And then I talk like this. So they go, oh yeah, EnQi attacking Jabari. No. EnQi's defending himself and his family and his people from Jabari. Watch this.
I mean, Biden gave him 52 years. EnQi, how does that make sense? EnQi, by the way, Saneter, where is EnQi's family from?
The Bronx.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
See, this had nothing to do with politics. What is he doing trying to figure out where my family is? That ain't got nothing to do with politics. Let this keep going.
You.
America.
Someone said to me, EnQi is Haitian.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
So wait a minute, EnQi. Wait a minute, EnQi. You are supporting a man that says you eat cats and dogs?
Ooh.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You are out of your African mind. You done lost yourself.
Damn.
You from Haiti, and you're supporting the guy that says you eat cats and dogs, who is straight up lying, who in the 80s, 90s, 2000s said Haitians are dirty, they come from S-hole countries, and they bring AIDS to the United States. You're supporting him. Why? What happened to you?
Now watch this. When Jabari, this is the moment right here. Now it's coming up. Look. Right there, he was still all right. Right there, he was still all right. Here's the moment where, like the Minister Society moment, because he getting ready to say something, and in that moment, I go, you know you done fucked up now, right? Watch it. This is the moment where you know you just fucked up right now, right? Watch this. It's coming.
Damn, EnQi.
You are out of your damn mind. I didn't even know that.
Oh,
I was disagreeing with EnQi, and someone texted me. I didn't see the text while I was on with you live, Saneter. After I got off, someone said, why aren't you not acknowledging that EnQi is Haitian? I said, what? I didn't know EnQi was Haitian. I didn't know. You are out of your ever-loving mind. You are out of your ever-loving mind. You're supporting someone who speaks about your family like that? While your great-grandmother will come up out of her grave and slap you in the face.
And see, in that moment, when he needed to bring Nana in, you mean you done brung Nana into this shit, nigga? You done brung Nana in? How you bring Nana in? You bring Nana in, nigga? That's what you're doing? Bruh, I just, you bring Nana in? This is crazy. This is crazy. I said, See, you know you done fucked up right now, right? I said, hold up. See, I got real things going on. It's a herpes outbreak and OnlyFans. You know, people was hitting me up about leukemia and this and that and HIV. And I got stuff I got to work on. Colon cancer stuff. I got some stuff I got to deal with. But Jabari, I'm getting ready to spin the block back to you with this. I had to put Jabari. I said, hold up. Let me schedule Jabari in for a visit. I'm gonna have to pull up on the YouTube streets on Jabari after he done went in. And then Saneter dropping fireworks on the shit. He got shit exploding. Jabari talking about my grandmother. Oh, yeah, your grandmother slapped you in the mouth. And Saneter exploding it like he Funk Master Flash. Okay. All right. Y'all niggas had a good time. Y'all had a good time over there at my expense. That was amazing. He exploded. Oh, okay. All right. See, that's fluff. That's fluff. See, that's fluff. And this is what this election is really about. Superficial foolishness versus reality. As a black man in America, I have to accept that most times when it comes to the presidential election, I may be dealing with both candidates that have racial tendencies and ideologies. Whether they're overtly racist, maybe they have some shit in their background or the way they grew up, because a lot of these white folks, especially rich white folks, they don't grow up with black people. They only know what they see on TV. So I gotta realistically look at it from that perspective and go, okay, I gotta take that off the table. I don't care what nobody say. What they do in office is much more important than what they say. What they do in office is much more important than what they say. And I also have had the blessing to live in the North and in the South. And I'm going to be honest. I prefer the person that's much more transparent about their personal feelings than the person that want to smile in my face and mimic the culture and everybody in it the whole time. Because see, it's getting ready to come out that all them people that Kamala said was her family members was paid actors. That's a minstrel show right there. What are we going to say if that finds out? If that winds up being true, what are we going to say then? Are we going to say that Jabari promoted that? Because that's what it is. Like right now, we're going through this 1993 crime bill. Jabari helped push to get this bill in. Jabari not only helped to push get the 93 crime bill in, Jabari has promoted the people ever since then and elected them to higher offices where they could do more and more damage in the black community. Jabari has been working to secretly push these people in. And guess what happened in the 90s? In the 90s is when niggas start waking up. And they start to getting around, looking around like, oh man, we got to vote. We got to do this. We got to do that. Right? Jabari is part of the movement to take conscious rap out of music. Y'all forget that was Democrats? Y'all forget that was the Democrats that came in with the gangster rap to smother out the conscious rap? Hello? The conscious rappers was saying, go vote. How did we go from the conscious rappers saying to vote? Right? Because they was talking about black history. So when the conscious rappers, going back to the red, the black, and the green with the key, when they was talking about go vote, they was telling you historically, oh, we've always been Republicans. Black people are Republicans. We are the basis for the Republican Party. Don't let these goofball, niggas that's cooning, shucking, and jiving fool you. The Democrats is the pro-slavery party. Listen to this. This is why when the Democrats come in office, inflation goes up, because inflation is a way to put you back into slavery. How is inflation putting me into slavery? Well, I will tell you, because you have to work 2 to 3 times as hard to have the same lifestyle. You have to work 2 to 3 times as hard to have the same lifestyle. So if you have to work 2 to 3 times as hard, that means that you're not being paid for all that labor. So if you working 4 hours a day gave you a lifestyle, Now you have to work 12 hours a day to have that same lifestyle. That means that extra 8 hours that you're working now, the extra 3 shifts, the extra 2 shifts, the part-time job you got to get, or the fact that you got to now go from eating full-size meals to maybe you didn't cut that down to, you know, all the vegan folks out there, you was eating quinoa, now your ass down to yellow rice. You was eating quinoa, now you on yellow rice. Yeah, that's how that goes. That's the subtle slavery that Jabari promotes. Come on, Jabari, you're gonna get this work, nigga. Stop playing over here. Stop playing, man. Stop playing. I don't know why you did all that. I don't know why you did all this. This was pure cooning. I don't know why you did all this.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Hey, EnQi, in the words of Tupac Shakur, why did you get this nigga started? Not saying Jabari's a nigga, but Tupac said, why did you get this nigga started? Now, I ain't saying Jabari's a nigga.
EnQi, how in the world do you think you are equipped to talk to me about these topics?
Oh, man.
So let's have the discussion. What discussion?
Now, see, now look, now y'all getting ready to see what type of character he is. So Jabari talked crazy, and once he went to that grandmother thing, the next comment I put over there was, okay, set up the discussion, because you don't get to go in and talk about my family and my grandma and all that without at least pulling me up onto the, like, we got to sit across from each other. If you're talking that type of crazy, you got to talk like that man to man. You don't get to talk like that while I'm in the chat room and you speaking. You don't get to hide. You don't get to throw rocks and hide your hand. That's not manly. That's not honorable. That's not integrity. What do you mean? How am I qualified? See, that's the problem. See, that's the double speak, right? When the Democrats want you to vote for them, they talk that everybody has the right to speak out. Right now is the vote. Everybody should speak out. Everybody has the right to speak out. Once you start speaking against a program, how do you think you have the right to speak out? What gives you the right to talk to me? Do you see how that goes? When you down with that program, everybody has the right to voice their opinion. Once you are not down with the program, how are you qualified to speak? Just that quick.
You are going to embarrass yourself. Right now, what you should be doing is going and lighting a candle and apologizing to your ancestors. Take your fingers off of the keyboard and go speak to your ancestors. They are embarrassed of you.
My ancestors are embarrassed of me. The nigga who support the 1993 crime bill said my ancestors are embarrassed of me. The nigga who support black people getting 3 times as much jail time as white people for the same charges said my ancestors embarrassed of me. He is very confused.
Damn.
They're embarrassed of you. Let's have the discussion. What discussion? Why don't you, instead of maybe he's typing, put down your phone, make sure you push away your meal of puppy, because I know you eat puppies, right? I know you must eat puppies. At least that's what your guy says about you. That's what your guy says about you. What's wrong with you? Have you ever seen me run from anyone, EnQi?
No.
Yes, you've been running from me for years, boy, and I got the content. See, this is what I don't understand. These niggas be forgetting when you got the content. Like, hold on, bro. You've been running from me for years. For years. I got the content. Let me show the content. Let me just pull it up. Because I know y'all like, what content, Doc? And we want to see that content. We want to see that content. We want to see that content. Let me see if this is it. Let me see if this is it right here. No, this ain't it. Oh, I'm gonna find it. Watch this. Matter of fact, we're gonna watch this. Y'all don't gotta watch me while I find it. Just know, Jabari, you in trouble, buddy. Jabari, you in trouble, boy. Let's go back to this work, though. This is Jabari work here.
More cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people. He knows there are two basic steps here. One step is you must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people. He also understands what my friend from Texas understands, and he doesn't talk a lot about, but he signed on to in this bill. He also understands the need to keep people who are first-time offenders, who are nonviolent offenders, or who are potential first-time offenders who haven't gotten, I yield myself an additional 3 minutes, who in fact are people who are getting themselves into the crime stream for the first time, that they should be diverted from the system. So I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended.
Pennsylvania does have a lot that it can do. And one of the things that I have my students do, and I'm gonna put a challenge out to the rest of y'all folks, if you're
Jabari,
feeling a
did
little
you forget about
frustrated, because I think a lot of what we're talking about
this?
is in a feeling of helplessness. It's white people who's doing this and we have no control over this. You can, even though we are geographically locked into New York, affect the outcomes of elections in other states. Sorry, I got Brooklyn outside. Give me a second. Sirens are popping.
It's not that loud.
I can barely think, it's so loud for me. But you can do this thing called adopt a state. If you go on this website for adopt a state, as far as the COVID-19 stuff, I felt like that was Donald Trump's weakest point in the debate. That was where he was the most tongue-tied.
So serious, then remember all through this summer league, all through this, Jabari.
Sometimes what we can do, we have to, this is a shell game, right? The issue of closing the borders did virtually nothing.
Jabari, see, I know you watching because I know Sai got you watching. Jabari, did you forget that I got the content? Since when I've been running from you? Jabari, you've been running from me on this subject for quite some time. I didn't even get to the Kemetic thing. You saw what I did to Reggie and you ran from that. So we leave that alone. We over here at the politics. I got the content. You've been running for years while secretly promoting your Democrat agenda. Reggie, excuse me, Jabari, you've been running for years while promoting your Democrat agenda. Jabari, come out and play. Let's get back to your man.
Justice, whatever either one of those meant. I never knew. I was running then in 1972. I didn't think Richard Nixon knew what it meant, and I didn't think the opposition knew what it meant. This president is very, very straightforward and simple. He knows there are two basic steps here. One step is you must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people. He also understands what my friend from Texas understands, and he doesn't talk a lot about, but he signed on to in this bill. He also understands the need to keep people who are first-time offenders, who are nonviolent offenders, or who are potential first-time offenders who haven't gotten, I yield myself an additional 3 minutes, who in fact are people who are getting themselves into the crime stream for the first time, that they should be diverted from the system. So I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended once and for all this notion that is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats are weak on crime and Democratic presidents are weak on crime and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill.
What did he just say? I'm sorry. Hold up. What did he just say? Did he say every major and minor crime bill from the government, from the Congress, has been from Biden? Did he just say that every crime bill? So every crime bill since before I was born has been authored or co-authored by Joe Biden? So the sentencing guidelines have been mostly influenced by who, Jabari? Jabari, I want you to answer this question. Jabari, can you answer this question for the people? The sentencing guidelines have been most affected by which political candidate we talking about here, Jabari? Jabari, where's Jabari? Jabari, you quiet? Stop. Let me call Saw back. Saw, so where's Saw at? Saw, you quiet over there too? Saw, is you quiet? Let's get Saw on the phone. Come on, Saw, pick up.
Yeah. What it is?
Yeah, the people want to know where you at. You was in the chat earlier. They want to hear you. You live right now. They want to hear you. They talk down. Respond. Now Biden been doing all these crime bills since the 70s. Now it's sentencing guidelines. Jabari pretend like he ain't know nothing about this. So now we want to understand, where is Jabari at right now?
Jabari is home visiting his mother right now. I just called him to try to get him to watch it.
Okay.
But,
all right.
He definitely will deal with you when he get back.
All right. So see, look, I'm gonna show again that I'm different than Jabari. I'm gonna respect his parents. Like he didn't respect mine. He went crazy on my, oh, your grandmother coming out the grave and all. But I'm gonna respect his visit to his family. All right, let me get back to work cooking him up.
He wouldn't say.
Sal, we already watched the video, brother. We've been watching the video.
I think you're not really looking at it. You're taking it all wrong.
Okay, no, I'm taking it as he gave it up. See,
he ain't meant it like that, brother.
Oh well, hey, I'm only can receive it how he gave it.
You don't really want that smoke with Jabari, brother.
Listen, Sal,
he's not the Floyd Mayweather for nothing, bro.
Sal, listen to what I'm telling you.
You see what he did to the Owaspy boys?
Listen.
You see what he did to the Hebrews? He took on 3 at one time. Come on, man.
Sal, listen to what I'm saying. Listen. Joe Biden's crime bills have destroyed the black community. Jabari.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong on that.
Okay, now hold on. Now wait. Listen. Jabari is on video saying that he's been promoting these people since the 1980s. So there is nothing that he could do. This is not this is not a debate where it's something that he could prove that I'm playing him saying that he's been rolling with these people from the 80s since before he was in the Kemetic community. He's saying this. He would have to debate himself. He would have to prove to the people, if he wanted to debunk me, he would have to prove to the people that Biden's crime bills was beneficial to the black community. Now, if he could come up here and prove that Joe Biden's crime bills have been beneficial to the black community, then he got something. But other than that, your man Jabari is over. He is not the Floyd. He's definitely not Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather is 50-0. Jabari is done.
Yo, you should have did the show on my show. You should do it again.
Now, listen, no. I called and asked you to bring me up and set it up with Jabari. You was over there, exploding fireworks, letting Jabari say, oh, no, I ain't discussing this with you because you ain't qualified to discuss it with me. I said, all right, well, shit, this nigga must forget I got a channel too. I'll just get Jabari ass over there. So anyway, let me finish cooking Jabari. I just wanted to see where Jabari was at because I wanted to give him an opportunity to speak for himself. All right, so look, I'm gonna do something else since we can't get Jabari to speak for the Democrats, right? Look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something else Jabari would not do. I'm gonna actually bring up a Democratic leader to explain the Democrat politics. Now, how about this? This you ain't gonna never see Jabari do this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch how we do this. Look how we do this. And we're gonna go back to Biden. Trust me, we still going back to Biden. Because Jabari got to get that work. But let me take y'all over here for a second. Let me take y'all over here for a second. What is this going on right here? Let's take a look at this. Let's get a little look at this right here. Okay. Now, you're going to see this gentleman right here down in the center is very familiar to you guys because I support this brother. He's running, and this is my brother. So I support him. And up here in the left, this is his twin brother. Now, what I want you guys to pay close attention to is this guy over here on the right. I want y'all to pay attention to this guy over here on the right, because we're going to be very this is going to be very insightful. Watch this.
Something happens to your family member, you don't want to be informed of when that person gets out of jail. So you know what the number one response I got when they said, well, they just told me to vote no. They just told me to vote no. I said, well, who told you to vote no? Who's they? And why didn't they explain this to you? So much so, Democrats were saying, you can't do that. You can't talk to them like that. So what is it about, and is there any validity, in your opinion, to the Democrat Party counting on us being low information voters?
Oh, that's absolutely the case.
Wait a minute. Let me stop you right there. Let's bring it back. I ain't even going to bring back his whole story. I'll just stop him right there. So in politics, in case you guys don't know, there's a term. It's called low information voters. You have high information voters and low information voters. High information voters are people that understand the history of the parties, people that are analyzing the policies that the parties want to put into action. And they're analyzing the history of how people have performed. Like we can go like here's a high informed voter type of thought pattern. Well, Joe Biden gave Kamala the responsibility for the border. With the responsibility of being the one who controls the border, what did Kamala do? Well, she not only did nothing, she actually never even went and checked on the border at all. In fact, she referenced going to the border with going on vacation in Europe. So she totally ignored her responsibility there. So when a person totally ignores their responsibility, the one thing that you don't do is give them more responsibility. See, that's like the logic, if P, then Q, common sense, high information voter kind of thing. Now, what you will come to find out is that the Democrats actually depend on low information voters. This is why the Democrats want immigrants that's just coming into the country to be able to vote, because they don't even understand what's going on here. But they want them to be able to vote because they qualify as low information voters. Now, if you hear that from me, a guy wearing this hat, clearly that could be biased, right? That could be clearly biased. I'm not saying it can't be. But when you hear that from this guy, that's a different story.
In your opinion, to the Democrat Party counting on us being low information voters?
Oh, that's absolutely the case. And I was a part of that Democratic Party machine where we told people how to vote and who to vote for. And but for having served myself that, that's absolutely the.
And is there any validity, in your opinion, to the Democrat Party counting on us being low information voters?
Oh, that's absolutely the case. And I was a part of that Democratic Party machine where we told people how to vote and who to vote for. And but for having served myself and having a conscience, Zora Neale Hurston said it best: all black skin ain't kin. And if you think voting blue, no matter who, is in your best interest, look at your current circumstance, and if it has not improved, then you need to think differently, and you need to do something differently. I'm not sitting here telling you who to vote for, but as a person who has been elected and served for 6 years, I can tell you right now, you've got Democratic members in the state legislature who do not have your best interest.
So now, go ahead, Rob, because I just had one last. Is there any validity, in your opinion, to the Democrat Party counting on us being low information voters?
Oh, that's absolutely the case. And I was a part of that Democratic Party machine where we told people how to vote and who to vote for. And but for having served myself and having a conscience, Zora Neale Hurston said it best: all black skin ain't kin. And if you think voting the conscious, Zora Neale Hurston said it best: all black skin ain't kin. And if you Zora Neale Hurston said it best: all black skin ain't kin. And if you think voting blue, no matter who, is in your best interest, look at your current circumstance, and if it has not improved, then you need to think differently, and you need to do something differently. I'm not sitting here telling you who to vote for, but as a person who has been elected and served for 6 years, I can tell you right now, you've got Democratic members in the state legislature who do not have your best interest.
So now, go ahead, Rob, because I just had one last finishing little time.
See, I'm bringing not just Democrats. I got you a Democratic leader. He led the Democrats, telling you their strategies, their inside strategies of manipulating low information voters and keeping them that way. Because see, high information voters go, wait a minute, as a black man who has had his friends that might have got caught with a bag of weed or something, go to jail for 3-5 years. As like what? Offer the sentencing guidelines from Joe Biden. I've had friends had their whole life snatched. Offer sentencing guidelines from Joe Biden. So has the whole black community. So has the whole black community. You see what I'm saying? See, Jabari don't want you to know this because Jabari is a part of that machine that wants you to be a low information voter. Right? Watch this. Come on. Come on, Jabari. You in trouble over there, Jabari. I don't know why you mess with me. Oh, Jabari. And now, after he didn't want the smoke, now, after he see this in the response, oh, he gonna want the smoke. And at that point, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have other things to do. I'm gonna have other things to do. Like the Jabari, he want to talk reckless about my grandmother and all that, then run. Now I'm gonna beat the brakes off you, pop, 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 and then ignore you. Now that's how this gonna go down. Now you got to deal with this work. Like I just had to sit with that. Like you thought that's what you thought that's what you was doing. You thought you were just going in, yeah, EnQi, and then start dropping fireworks on shit. Yeah, your grandmother's embarrassing. And you thought that was just supposed to stay up on the internet without a response. And that's just how that go. These niggas be confused. These niggas be seriously confused.
And has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill. So one of the things I want to do in addition to end crime is end the political carnage that goes on when we talk about crime. Crime is not Democrat or Republican. Making the streets safe is not a Democratic or Republican issue. This is one of those issues I hope this passage of this bill will be taken out of the gridlock category and moved into an emerging consensus. And the consensus is as follows, and I will cease when I finish this statement.
I know a lot of you guys like me are not happy with the way things are being run right now. The border's going crazy. Prices and inflation are through the roof. That's why, guys, I am pumped up with sendthevote.com. Sendthevote.com is a pro-America, pro-freedom organization that's going to make sure you're registered to vote and your vote is going to count. This is not about being Republican or a Democrat. This is a nonpartisan organization. This is just going to make sure that everybody's vote is counted and nobody is left on the sidelines.
The consensus is A, we must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not.
So he's specifying, right? This is what Jabari supports. As Biden is breaking this down, now I want y'all to understand what's that. The streets, right? This is that old, you know, where they showed like the black gorilla attacking the beautiful damsel in distress who happens to be a white lady, and so they demonize your image. This is that being put into law. This is that being put into law and supported by blacks. It has to be supported by blacks, and these types of blacks is Jabari. See, Jabari didn't realize some of us are not low information voters. Some of us actually have an attention span that stretches past 30 seconds. So now, Jabari, listen, like I told Sal on the phone, all you got to do is come before the people and prove that this bill was great for the people. If you can prove that these crime bills have been great for the black community, have been great for if you can prove, Jabari, that Democrats across this country, right? The Democrats in Baltimore, the Democrats in Philadelphia, the Democrats in Watts, the Democrats in Atlanta, if you can prove that the Democrats have been making sure the educational system for our children, if you can show that the policies the Democrats have put on the books over the years has improved the schooling that our kids receive in Jabari, can you prove that, Jabari? Jabari, there's some people that have questions about the reading material that has been approved for the children in the schools, Jabari. Have you been supporting you've been supporting this from the 80s, Jabari. Jabari, I would love to hear Jabari come up on Sal's page. I don't even need to be there. Break down to the people. Jabari, explain to the people how the crime bills, all authored totally or in part by Joe Biden, have benefited the black community. Also, how his bills and stances on the allocation of funds, the budgets run by Democrats, how those have benefited the school system. And wait a minute. If Joe Biden is the author of the crime bills from the 70s till now, which is what Joe Biden said, who is the single most responsible politician for the pipeline from schools to prisons? God damn it. Who's responsible for that, Jabari? Joe Biden, and guess who else? You and the niggas like you. You and the niggas like you are responsible for the pipeline from the schools to the prisons. God damn it, Jabari. This is why you running from me. You don't want nobody to ask you none of this shit.
They were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons.
Wait a minute. Did y'all just hear Biden? I'm going to rewind that shit for clarity. Joe Biden said it doesn't matter if historically you're in poverty because of racist slavery, bad laws, economics, redlining, right? He don't care if you in poverty because of redlining. Listen to this. I'm gonna rewind this. See, Jabari, like the rest of them, they don't want you to be high information voters. They don't want you to realize these is the niggas with the red. So Joe Biden said he don't care if you're a victim of redlining. He don't care if your family is in poverty because of the school system, racism, none of that. He's only concerned with the fact that these street criminals, these street thugs are getting ready to hit his moms in the head or challenge his sons. Wait a minute. You mean your son that smoked crack at the White House, nigga? Hold on. You mean you don't want these blacks to challenge your sons that's smoking crack, nigga?
Members of the United States Senate on the bill. So one of the things I want to do in addition, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States of America, not with his Attorney General, not with anyone else, with Bill Clinton, President of the United States of America, who between the time he got elected in November until the time he was sworn in, called me at my home on 6 separate occasions. And he unfortunately doesn't need a lot of sleep. Sometimes literally, and I say this on the record, as late as 11:30 at night to discuss why I wasn't moving quicker on the Biden crime bill from before. I sat with him, not with his attorney general. He wanted 100,000 policemen. He does not view this as a social issue as opposed to trying to bring peace and security to the streets. As governor of the state of Arkansas, he presided over, as governor, the execution of individuals within the state and the death penalty. He supports the death penalty. He is the fellow who insisted that I bump this up from initially to when I said, where are we going to get the money? He said, well, all I know is I want 100,000 cops. I made that commitment. He had endorsed the Biden crime bill as a candidate when he ran. He is the one who talks about the need for stiffer penalties. So notwithstanding the fact, some of the old Democrats and former presidents who were Democrats before Carter, I suspect, I don't know who we're talking about here, but in the old days, it is true. When Richard Nixon was running for president, Richard Nixon used to talk about law and order, and the Democratic response was law and order with justice, whatever either one of those meant. I never knew. I was running then in 1972. I didn't think Richard Nixon knew what it meant, and I didn't think the opposition knew what it meant. This president is very, very straightforward and simple. He knows there are 2 basic steps here. One step is you must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people. He also understands what my friend from Texas understands, and he doesn't talk a lot about, but he signed on to in this bill. He also understands the need to keep people who are first-time offenders, who are nonviolent offenders, or who are potential first-time offenders who haven't gotten, I yield myself an additional 3 minutes, who in fact are people who are getting themselves into the crime stream for the first time, that they should be diverted from the system. So I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended once and for all this notion that is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats are weak on crime and Democratic presidents are weak on crime and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill.
Okay, now, I got to make sure I clarify these things. Because, see, when I have something wrong, I want to be able to say that I was wrong. So I was wrong, okay? Joe Biden is not solely responsible for all these crime bills. He's just the one writing them. But as he said, the majority of the votes for these crime bills is coming from the Democrats. So when y'all say, because these niggas think they slick, they get ready to say, well, even if Joe Biden wrote a bill, you know, anybody could take a bill to the floor. That is correct. The bill has to be voted in. So right there, Biden is telling you, when he come with these crime bills, guess who's not voting for these crime bills? The Republicans. The Republicans are not voting for these bills as per Biden right now. See, when you listen back and you pull out the information, when you hear this shit, it gets crazier and crazier. It gets creepier and creepier that Jabari said he's been promoting these niggas since the 80s. So Jabari been promoting all these crime bills. And the Democrats are the ones who's putting these things into office. The Democrats. Let's listen to Biden tell you again. Every major and minor crime bill from the 70s has had his name on it and the names of the majority of the Democrats. I need y'all to listen to that again because y'all might be confused because these niggas like to lie and switch shit up. Let's listen to Biden explain this to us again. Biden, please tell us who authored these bills and who's voting these bills in. Are the Republicans voting these bills? Because I don't care if all the Republicans hold hands on video and scream, niggas, 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 niggas. I don't care if they sing the nigga song. What you say about me is much less important than what you do. So if you call me a nigga, if you call me uneducated, if you call me dirty, guess what I could do? I could prove those things wrong by how I live. I could show my character by how I live. But if you put bills on the books, laws in place to make sure that my children don't receive a proper education, if you put bills in place so that the very nature of these children can get them jail records by the time they turn 18, 19, 20, if you put bills in place that lock up a black boy for 3 times as long for the same charge as a suburban kid, specifically to cripple these kids because you don't want them to have an even start as your kids, and we see what your kids did with their head start. Joe Biden, your kids got a head start from you and all your goddamn legislation, and they smoke crack with it. And you telling me, Jabari, this what you've been supporting, Jabari? Hold on, before we go back to Biden, I think we need a refresher from, because there's new people tuned in, and they might not believe that Jabari is a plant in the black community. They might not believe that Jabari is a plant in the black community. So I'm going to let Jabari refresh their memory real quick, and then we go back to Biden real quick. We go back to Biden after we hear Jabari confess to secretly pushing this agenda from the 80s. How long you been with these people, Jabari?
One of the things they don't recognize is, I know that when I come on here, I talk to you as a historian, but I had been involved in political action in the African-American community since before I was part of the Kemetic community, since the 1980s. One of the things they don't recognize is, I know that when I come on here, I talk to you as a historian, but I had been involved in political action in the African-American community since before I was part of the Kemetic community, since the 1980s.
Okay. So we have Jabari confession, right? We got Jabari confessions of a Kemetic community plant. That's what I'm going to retitle this video. Confessions of a Kemetic community plant. Now we can go back to his man Biden. So this is what you've been promoting this whole time. Let's make sure we all on the same page.
That is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats are weak on crime and Democratic presidents are weak on crime and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is
Facts. Hold up. I had to stop the video again. That's how dumb he think the people listening to him is. He think after 45 years, he done got so deep into the community and that they love him so much that after he confesses that he been supporting all of the very same bills that crippled the community for the last 50 years, that shit going to just go over everybody's head. Not mine. Not mine. And he know that because this ain't the first time we had a political conversation that he ran. Showed y'all the footage of that, right? Showed y'all just a little sneak peek of that so y'all know that it's real when I'm saying it. So he knows who to have these conversations with and who not to. This is why he thought he could talk about my grandmother and talk crazy and then say, oh no, sir, we're not gonna let EnQi onto the platform. Oh no, sir, we're not gonna set up a discussion where EnQi can challenge me on the effects of these 1993 crime bills. Let me tell you something, Jabari. Let me give you some advice, dum-dum. Dum-dum. You should have let Saneter bring me up on the screen. Because if he would have brung me up, we could have argued back and forth about the 93 crime bill. Now that you did what you did, and now I'm doing this, now we see it's not just the 1993 crime bill. It's all of the crime bills going back to the 70s that you've been supporting. In fact, when they start rolling out the bills in the 70s, you joined up with them in the 80s. So since you joined in the 80s, that means that you saw what they was doing to the black community with the crime bills and said, yes, we need more of that. Lock up more of these black kids. Shut down more of these schools in the community. The mind state of a nigga who boosted the crime rate. Let's go, Jabari. Get this work, buddy. Get this work, Jabari.
Crime stream for the first time, that they should be diverted from the system. So I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended once and for all this notion that is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats are weak on crime and Democratic presidents are weak on crime and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill. Crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill.
Jabari, the longest court case in the history of Georgia that we all got to witness as a country. We all got to witness it as a country, Jabari. Jabari, this was the most corrupt court case that we have ever seen in America, Jabari. Jabari, we all just got to witness the most corrupt court case of all time. The YSL case. Jabari, can I ask you a question, Jabari? Jabari, just a quick question, Jabari. The prosecutors, the district attorney, the district attorney that was also the girlfriend of the gang, the head of the blood gang member that was supposedly murdered, allegedly by these guys. That one, the head of the DA that was in a relationship with the head of the Bloods in Atlanta, that DA, the dirty one. The head DA is not supposed to be a lover of a gang, active gang. You wait. Oh, I'm sorry, Jabari. Were those Democrats? I'm just saying. No. I got it. I know, because some of y'all going to say that don't matter. I just want to know, is that lady a Democrat? Forget about being a Democrat. Let's take that off the table. I know that's nasty work right there. Jabari, is that a black folks? Are those black folks? Are those black folks like you, Jabari? The judge that was trying to railroad these young black men, what was that, a black man or a white man? I just want to know. Because see, the low information vote, see, this is what they do. They turn it into some racial emotional shit. So let's just look at some current events. Let's look at the current effects of those crime bills, right? Because those crime bills, the major and the minor ones, those include the that all that RICO shit, all that. Yeah. So we want to see, that's what they do is they pass a bill, and they pass. So the bills build on one another. Isn't that funny? Bills build. The bills build on one another, right? So as they strip your rights, they can't go too crazy. They got to do it in steps, right? So the judge and the lawyers that was trying to railroad these young black men, were those white people? Okay, forget about who was trying to railroad him. The judge and the lawyer that was trying to free these young black men, were those black people, or were those? Is Brian Steele from Hunt 50? Where Brian Steele? Is Brian Steele got dreadlocks? Is Brian Steele a white? Wait. No. The dirty judge, that was a white man. And the clean judge that just fixed things up and sent my man home to be with his kids for the holidays, that was clearly a black man, right? That was see how stupid this shit look when they try to make this reality about skin color? Because see, once you get focused on skin, he said niggers and he's racist. You automatically forget about your school system. You automatically forget about the health system. You automatically forget about economics. You automatically forget we damn near at World War III. You automatically forget shit went to hell in a handbasket the moment these folks came into office. You forget all that. You forget that while we have inflation all-time high, Biden's idea was to send $60 billion to Ukraine. Wait, that further pushes up the inflation. Double down on it. They've been giving away $5,000 and $10,000 to all the immigrants that pay. Hey, here's they like Oprah Winfrey over 5,000. You get 5,000. You get 5,000. You get 5,000. 5,000 times how much? 5,000 times 100,000. That's about 1,000. That's 1,000. That's thousands of thousands. I don't even know how much thousands of thousands. That's a lot of money. Kamala, how much of that money did you make sure went into the black community? Kamala, how much of that money did you make sure went into the black school system? Kamala, how much of that money did you redirect to get the inflation down? Kamala, when they asked you, did you plan on doing anything different than what Biden been doing for the last 4 years? You said no. So that means you're going to continue what y'all got going on. And guess what? Jabari has been campaigning for that. So Jabari likes the inflation. Jabari wants that inflation because, hey, Trump might call you a nigger. So, hey, I'd rather be able to pay my bills and be, in my house and be able to feed my kids and all that and let somebody say whatever the hell they want to say in their house. I don't want somebody saying, you such a handsome, intelligent black man, while secretly putting laws on the books to lock up my kids and fuck up I can't pay my rent and bill. Oh, but we'll give you welfare. Yeah, I prefer kind of like to work. I like to work. I don't want to have the welfare. I just rather. Oh, but Jabari want that because welfare kids have a much higher rate of going into prisons. Yeah. See that prison money? Oh, them Democrats into that prison money. They into that prison money. Jabari, you got to tell us, you've been accepting this black prison money from these people? Jabari been getting paid blood money from his own people. Oh, this is heartbreaking.
So one of the things I want to do in addition to end the crime is end the political carnage that goes on when we talk about crime. Crime is not Democrat or Republican. Making the streets safe is not a Democratic or Republican issue. This is one of those issues I hope this passage of this bill will be taken out of the gridlock category and moved into an emerging consensus. And the consensus is as follows, and I will cease when I finish this statement. The consensus is A, we must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society.
You see that? It don't matter. What happened to these these people? You know, the street people. Jabari, you got to explain this shit here, buddy.
And moved into an emerging consensus. And the consensus is as follows, and I will cease when I finish this statement. The consensus is A, we must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. The Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, the Democratic president of the United States of America, the Democratic attorney general, the Republican leader of this effort, Senator Hatch, the Republican senator from Texas. We all agree on that. Now, we can find some fringe folks in the study groups on the right wing and left wing, libertarians and left-wingers in my party who say, no, that's not what we should do. But politically, that consensus has been arrived at. I acknowledge there was not that consensus in the 60s. There is today. There's a second thing that we all have agreed upon, and that is unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now.
Do you hear him breaking down the fact that he understands that the school system, the economy, the redlining has disenfranchised these kids? Tens of thousands of them. You hear him explaining this shit. But he's saying instead of creating programs to educate these kids, instead of creating programs to make sure they're gainfully employed, instead of creating programs to make sure they understand how to socialize, we should lock their ass up. And Jabari support this. Woo!
Not out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on
we don't start locking them up, they will become predators. This is how, I want y'all to understand, this is how stereotypes become law. This is how stereotypes becomes law. You just listen to him say, if we don't lock them up as children, tens of thousands of them, get them off the street, they will become predators later. His solution to stop the young, impoverished kids from becoming predators is to lock them up. That's cool. This is a white guy from Delaware. Maybe he's not aware. He don't know. The problem is not Joe Biden. I want y'all to understand this shit. The problem is Jabari. The problem is Charlemagne. The problem is when the people from your community shucking and jiving for these folks don't tell you that they're getting jobs with these people. They don't tell you they're getting checks with these people. They don't tell you the only reason they're supporting this is because these people have moved them out of harm's way. They moved them out of harm's way. So Jabari got a brownstone that's a few $1 million. Jabari don't care what happens to impoverished youth. Why would he? His kids is no longer in danger of that. His family out the way. Courtesy of these folks. See, that's called the selling out. That's called selling out. That's textbook selling out. Ain't no discussion about that. I'm not going to debate we don't have to debate politics. We need to debate the effects of these crime bills. That's what we do. You got to understand a debate. 90% of the debate is won when the title and subject matter of the debate is chosen. So if we debate politics at large, oh, Jabari gonna flash his college degree on me and sway the people. You can't get out of this shit here, nigga. This shit right here. This shit right here.
But for simple, pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them.
Woo! Woo! Jesus! Did you hear this? I mean, he's very clear. He said we created them. So he's acknowledging as a Democrat that he and his Democrats created the poverty that your kids growing up in and is now scared of these kids because they put you in poverty. So the last thing they want you to find out is that they're responsible for your family being like that. They're responsible for you growing up without a father. They're responsible for your uncles growing up. They're responsible for the guys in the prisons that's getting raped and coming out in the community, down low brothers and spreading diseases and all that. They want to blame you for the disease, but they're not going to talk about the prison system that they've created, that they have unfairly sentenced you in. They're not going to say nothing about that. Oh, but see, what's happening is, y'all may not understand what y'all watching right now. So let me give you some context. You know that people say privately things that they would not say publicly. Biden is in a room full of other white guys. In the 90s, there's no internet. There's no social media. So when he's having this conversation on the Senate floor, he's thinking that this conversation is going to stay on the Senate floor. He's not thinking that this shit getting ready to be slapped up on YouTube and Instagram and all kind of shit. He's not thinking that these kids that they have put in poverty, that they now want to lock up so they can live, he's not thinking that these same kids getting ready to watch this video. See, this is the problem. And Jabari support this shit. Biden ain't the problem. Jabari's the problem. Because we can't say Biden don't know. Oh, well, Biden didn't know. No. Biden is saying that him and the Democrats put these folks in poverty. And now, because they're in poverty, they're going to live a life of crime. And before they get the chance to live the life of crime, we just need to lock these niggas up and put them in jail. Yeah, and Jabari supports that.
They are beyond the pale, many of those people.
So are they misguided, the 50%? Are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid.
What? Yeah. YouTube is cooking too, goddammit. Hold up. YouTube is officially cooking. YouTube is cooking right now. YouTube is cooking. Somebody at YouTube is like, hold up, that nigga EnQi cooking over there. Let's go ahead and send him a little. Hold on, Ink, you forgot this. Look, the YouTube is like, oh, Ink, you forgot this. Let's put this in there. Oh. So wait a minute. Right at the point where Biden is saying that these young kids need to go to prison, Kamala come in and say that these same young kids are stupid. Wait a minute. Right after we just played the Democratic Party leader, I don't know if y'all understand. He was the Democratic Party leader saying that Democrats like to pander to the low information voters. Oh my God. Jabari. Sa, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be honest, Sa. The longer we go deeper into this, I'm going to be honest with you, brother. You're going to have to change your stance on how you supporting Jabari, because technically, if you support Jabari after knowing this, see, before this, you could go, well, I didn't know Jabari was into that. I didn't know. And we're going to believe you. After this, if you still support Jabari, supporting these people, then we got to look at you funny, Sa. I'm just saying, Sa, you're going to have to choose sides. Sa, you're going to have to choose sides, brother, because this is crazy.
A liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple, pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people.
Okay. Take them out of society. Take them out of society. See, that's the other part of this. It's not just lock them up in jails. Remember, these same crime bills is also the crime bills that allows them to get off. When we see the Mike Browns and we see the, what was the other thing people was rioting and marching and all that. Remember, it's these bills that also structure the guidelines for policing. It's these bills that teach the officers to view your child as a predator instead of as a child. Jabari. And Jabari has been working, like he said, since the 80s to make sure that this is what our country has become. Jabari said that, not me. Not me. You got to wrestle with this. See, Jabari gonna have to lie. Ain't nothing he could do with this. But see, the content is out. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Beyond the pale. Beyond the pale means, first things first. That's a good question. Beyond the pale means a few things. I'm glad you asked that question. Beyond the pale, number one, means that these are animals. Because that's how you feed an animal. You feed an animal with a pail, right? Beyond the pale means that you can no longer guide the animal, because that's how you guide and train animals. You guide and train animals with food, right? I got a puppy. Go on the internet right now. You're going to see all these different dog trainers and all kind of dog whisperers and all that. They're training the dogs with a pouch they keep on them of treats, right? Here, do this. They do it, you treat them. They don't do it, you don't treat them. See, it's Pavlov, right? So they're running the Democrat Party with the Pavlov theories and all that. That's how they're doing you, right? They prod you with fear. Yeah, go that way. They just hit you with the, you don't want to get hit with the, you got to go that direction. See, that's Pavlov theory and all that. This Jabari shit here. Yeah. Animal husbandry. There you go. Come on now. Jabari.
Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society. And the truth is, we don't very well know how to rehabilitate them at that point. That's the sad truth. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. You know what the basic premise of the Sentencing Commission is? I know the presiding officer knows. Point. That's the sad truth. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. The sad truth. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. The sad truth. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission.
Jabari, how dare you come on the goddamn internet? Now you looking like a straight buffoon. Now, the deeper we get into this, we can start really undressing you online, buddy. Now the jig is up. How dare you go on Saneter page and lie to the people and try to ridicule me in the middle of your rant? Oh, EnQi, last I checked, Biden wasn't no judge. How could Biden influence somebody getting 52 years? Let's hear dumbass Jabari say this shit again. See, and this is a lie because Jabari is college educated, so he know goddamn well what the hell I'm talking about. And he been supporting the Democrats since the 1980s. So he was there when all these bills went on the books in 1993. He knows about this. He supported this and then came to the black community and tried to explain to niggas how this will benefit them. Let's go listen to Jabari say this dumb coon shit again. Let's listen to this coonery again. Let's get into this coonery again. Come on, Jabari. Talk that coon shit. Come on now. Talk black to me. Talk black to me. Let's find your coon, pure fucking coonery. Come on now. Talk black to me, Jabari. Where you at?
Biden gave him 52 years. Means. How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison? Is Biden a judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means. Biden gave 52 years, the darker than me that Biden gave 52 years in prison. Biden gave 52 years. How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison?
Hold on. Y'all know I get ahead of myself sometime and I get a little crazy. So hold on. Let me get it right. Damn it. Let's get this shit right when we cook it. I got to properly season this. I'm sorry. I mixed the cayenne pepper with the coriander. Hold on. Let me balance this out. We're going to put a little cumin in this. We're going to put some cumin in this and get this right. Okay? We're going to get this right.
And call. Does that affect what happens in my neighborhood? Of course. What is this? I just did a panel with the brother darker than me that Biden gave 52 years in prison. Biden gave 52 years. How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison?
You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission.
Biden gave 52 years. How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison? Is Biden a judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means.
See right there? That's called cooning. That's called cooning. That's if you didn't know what cooning was, don't even look for words. Just put Jabari right there. This is called cooning. This is called him on the internet. He thought he had a moment. Then he got busted. I said, no, Biden hit niggas with, Biden responsible for all these jail sentences. Oh, no. How could Biden? That's so silly. And then, the dumb niggas watching, they not low information. See, they low information. They don't know no better. So they have to judge Jabari versus Dr. EnQi. They don't judge us based on information. They have to judge based on what? Oh, I'm a college-educated guy, and look at EnQi. He's not even a real doctor. He has on gold teeth. See, you see how they do that? See, that's that Democrat shit there. It ain't about the substance of your character. It's about the surface. Oh, yeah, he got on gold teeth, so clearly he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. And Biden is a good old white man, so clearly Biden is a great guy that we should, yeah. I don't know how Biden could have given somebody some time. How could that be? Let's look at this shit again. Fucking goofball nigga. I don't know why he played with me. You played with the wrong nigga, Jabari. Saneter be confused. Saneter has underestimated me consistently for years now. So it's not a new thing.
Panel with the brother darker than me that Biden gave 52 years in prison. Biden gave 52 years. How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison? Is Biden a judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means.
You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. Richard Nixon used to talk about law. When I said, where are we going to get the money? He said, well, all action for the people. He also understands what my friend from Texas understands, and it doesn't tell when it passes. The Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended once and for all this notion that is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats are weak on crime and Democratic presidents are weak on crime and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission.
How you coming back from that, Jabari? Case closed. Case closed. Ain't no coming back from that. Ain't no coming back from that. Ain't no coming back from that. That is pure ether. And now let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and let's take a break for a second.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe. They've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know what it takes to improve these issues. I've got great working relationships already in D.C. I've spent the last 10 years of my life building my political resume so that one of us, somebody who thinks like we do, could get into D.C. and make a difference. I want you to visit aliforcongress.com to find out more about my campaign. The Democrats have already done enough, and now they're putting illegal aliens in front of people like you and me, folks whose ancestors built this country and made it what it is today. So again, I'm asking you to support me in my run for U.S. House District 12 here in North Carolina. You don't have to live in North Carolina to support, because what happens in Congress affects the entire country. So again, it's aliforcongress.com. I hope to have your support. Peace and love, y'all.
Governor George Lopez, thank you very much. I have been coming to Arizona since the 80s. Same hair. No. And I know what Arizona is. I know what Arizona can be. I know what the people of Arizona are. And the people of Arizona will put Tim Walz and Kamala Harris into the White House. This is what America looks like.
Yo, hold up. Yo, hold up. That nigga said this is what America looks like and turned around behind him to point at them people and then point at himself. I don't see no black people right there. Oh, shit. Hold on. Let's see that again. What you said? What you said? Let's see that again.
This is what America looks like. Enough lies. Donald Trump said he was going to build the wall in one day, because if you leave that material out there overnight, he also said that he... I wish you would have asked me. We can't even really split a check at a restaurant, but you know, it sounded nice at the time. I have known Kamala Harris for 16 years. And she is the real deal. That is who she is. She comes from a great family. I knew her mother. They called her mommy. She said, call me mommy. I said, I'd love to. A scientist, a 5-foot woman who said to her children when something didn't go their way, what are you going to do now? How are you going to handle that? All positive, all love. That's what you do when you're a great mother. And we're going to send her daughter, Kamala Harris, to the White House. A real family.
Again, I'm just asking y'all this question. Because I know I got people that's pro Kamala. Some of these folks watching that done already voted. They did their early vote for Kamala. I just want to know, if it comes out that Kamala lied about her family tree, what will you guys say then? Because Pusha T, listen to this, Pusha T, he was coming at Drake, and he pulled out that picture with Drake wearing the blackface. And I got backlash. Oh, Doc, how you supporting Drake? Drake got on blackface. What is Kamala's entire campaign? Kamala's entire campaign is blackface. Maybe it's not true. Maybe it's rumors. Maybe it's just a smear campaign, right? Throw some smut on her name. What if it's true? What if that happens? Oh, why did I put George Lopez up there? I put George Lopez up there and I skipped some of them. So you know what? That's a good question. George Lopez went up there and he made racist jokes the whole entire time. Some of the jokes are so inflammatory, I don't want to replay them. But again, for the high information voters, they know, like, so Trump had a guy come up on his thing. He said some racist jokes about watermelon and people lost their mind, right? George Lopez goes up there. He makes racist jokes. You don't hear nothing, right? Last I checked, I'm going to be honest. All of my favorite comedians make race jokes. That's what comedians do. They start off talking about themselves and then they work around through the audience, and before you know it, and white folks, let me tell you about white folks. Listen, now white folks will do that. How the fuck, like, how do we, like, what are we doing? We're being pointed at superficial foolishness to sway our vote when that shit ain't important. I don't give a fuck what the comedians making jokes say. We're not voting for the comedians. We're not voting for George Lopez or this other goofy nigga. And I'm not voting about their content. We're not voting for comedians, nor are we voting about comedians. But when you don't have any substance to your campaign, you got to make this shit about comedians. You got to make this shit about skin color. You got to make this shit about goofy shit. Then you got to have your undercover operatives like Jabari deflect any real shit. When you pull up on them and you say, hey, Jabari, let's talk about that crime bill. You're not qualified to talk to me. Hey, Saneter, drop a bomb on that. Yeah, EnQi, you got gold teeth on. You ain't into college. You ain't know what you're talking about. Oh, is that what you want to do, nigga? Yeah, your grandmother's ashamed of you. Yeah. What? Okay. You going up on the summer jam, nigga. And when you go up on the EnQi summer jam, I don't have to make jokes about your grandmoms or your moms and your family members. I don't got to talk personal. I could do what you supposed to did, nigga. You supposed to go up on that platform. Sa got a big platform. You supposed to go up on that platform and talk about the issues that's affecting the community and how voting for your candidates will improve those issues. But guess what? He can't, because he knows that they're the ones that's causing the pipeline to prison from the school. They're the ones that cause the poverty you live in. So he can't talk about those issues. The only thing he could do is say, well, Trump is a racist, or, Trump wants to stop abortions. Wait a minute. Hold on. Stopping abortions is pro-black. Oh, EnQi, how dare you say that? How dare you say that, EnQi? Watch this. Let's go over here for a second. Because a lot of y'all are low information voters. See, a lot of y'all are low information voters, so you need to actually be reminded. Let me remind you, niggas. See, that's what happens when we come over here. You niggas got to get reminded. Hold on. Let me remind you, niggas. Let's check this out. This is what I'm talking about.
Society can prevent those who are manifestly unfit from continuing their kind. 3 generations of imbeciles are enough. I do not join in the belief that the African is our equal in brain or in heart.
We are paying for and even submitting to the dictates of an ever-increasing, unceasingly spawning class of human beings who never should have been born at all.
The laws of nature require the obliteration of the unfit.
The best way to hate a nigger is to hate him before he is born.
American eugenicists were routinely praising Hitler and holding up the Nazi eugenics program as a model for the United States to copy.
Non-white races must be excluded from America. The red and black races, if left to themselves, revert to a savage or semi-savage state in a short time. The only way...
Hold on, wait a minute. Didn't we just listen to Jabari Man put these same ideas into law? They don't want this work here. They scared of this shit. Didn't we just listen to Jabari's people put this into law? Didn't we just listen to Jabari's people say that these black kids from the inner cities is going to turn into predators and we need to get rid of them before they get us and all that shit? Didn't we listen to that? Oh, y'all don't want this. See? Y'all don't want this.
Society can prevent those who are manifestly unfit from continuing their kind. 3 generations of imbeciles are enough. I do not join in the belief that the African is our equal in brain or in heart.
We are paying for and even submitting to the dictates of an ever-increasing, unceasingly spawning class of human beings who never should have been born at all.
The laws of nature require the obliteration of the unfit.
The best way to hate a nigger is to hate him before he is born.
American eugenicists were routinely praising Hitler and holding up the Nazi eugenics program as a model for the United States to copy.
Non-white races must be excluded from America. The red and black races, if left to themselves, revert to a savage or semi-savage state in a short time. The only way possible of decreasing Negro population is by means of controlling fertility. Birth control facilities could be extended relatively more to Negroes than to whites, since Negroes are more concentrated in the lower income and education classes.
We hope that the restraint of population growth can come about through voluntary means. But if it does not, involuntary methods will be used.
There should be national sterilization for certain dysgenic types of our...
You see this? Now, how is it that Jabari and his people is still promoting this? And they done got women riled up to promote this also. See, this is when you brainwashed. See, when you know better, high information, you see it immediately. Once you get brainwashed, you can now promote and institute your own oppression. How come it's the guy with the blonde hair and the blue eyes that's trying to stop this ma'afa on black people? How come it's the quote unquote black woman that's running for office that's trying to keep this shit going? Answer that, Jabari. Answer that. Talk to me about Margaret Sanger. Oh yeah, y'all niggas thought I wasn't gonna go there. Let's talk about that.
Society can prevent those who are manifestly unfit from continuing their kind. 3 generations of imbeciles are enough. I do not join in the belief that the African is our equal in brain or in heart.
We are paying for and even submitting to the dictates of an ever-increasing, unceasingly spawning class of human beings who never should have been born at all.
The laws of nature require the obliteration of the unfit.
The best way to hate a nigger is to hate him before he is born.
American eugenicists were routinely praising Hitler and holding up the Nazi eugenics program as a model for the United States to copy.
Non-white races must be excluded from America. The red and black races, if left to themselves, revert to a savage or semi-savage state in a short time. The only way possible of decreasing Negro population is by means of controlling fertility. Birth control facilities could be extended relatively more to Negroes than to whites, since Negroes are more concentrated in the lower income and education classes.
We hope that the restraint of population growth can come about through voluntary means. But if it does not, involuntary methods will be used.
There should be national sterilization for certain dysgenic types of our population who are being encouraged to breed and would die out were the government not feeding them.
If this movement continues, we soon may be accused of fighting poverty by eliminating the poor and overcoming hunger by removing the hungry.
For all their failures, what the eugenics movement had accomplished was to lay the foundation for the next phase of their plan. And this is where they would find the success that they had been chasing for over 100 years.
Now let's compare that to what we hear from your man right here. Let's compare that, what we just listened to, with this here.
Wife, take on my sons. This is as follows, and I will cease when I finish this statement. The consensus is A, we must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to have become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask,